I'm doing this at 10 o'clock on a Sunday because I just want to get it out of the way. I have a few things that I want to talk about. First and foremost, I had someone who came up to me in town, and I know that they appreciate what I've been doing. And they came up to me and told me that they were in a group in town, and my name came up, and all kinds of shit was said about me that was less than friendly. And they, I think, felt bad because they also told me that they didn't say anything. That they just, what their contention was, is that all these people had their minds made up and they have to live here. And I completely understood and didn't care. But it got me thinking about just a lot of stuff. One, it's interesting how history kind of echoes itself because I've had to deal with kind of this when I was a kid because after they made me light that dude on fire, um, we moved up to Gruttinger, Iowa. And it was an interesting town of 500. And it was kind of the same situation. I actually, back then, was being abused. And everyone in town knew it. And what was the general consensus with people was, well, maybe if I wasn't gay. And that's what I grew up with as a kid. And they were way less friendly. You know, they used the term that rhymes with maggot, even though a maggot actually had higher esteem in their mind than I did as a child. And so people knew that I was going through hell because living with my father and especially my stepmother was fucking hell. There were people who actually tried to help, just like there is now. But why I say is the history is echoing itself is because now here I am in this situation. And um, now I'm back in this situation. And but this is all providence. It's like heaven is completing loose ends in my life. Because now I'm back in small town Iowa and people are talking shit. And but this time there's more gravitas to the situation because it's not my abuse. Even though they're breaking into my house and stealing shit and I'm going through hell. Hey Saki, I'm going through hell. Hey Joe. Um Going through hell and have been going through hell. Why I say there is there's more gravitas to this whole situation is because it's not just about me. Because when it comes down to it, the people are upset because of the things that I'm saying and the things that I'm trying to expose. That and these videos. There's no other, way to put that. And so, and this town knows that the stuff that I'm actually talking about, it's not like I'm the only one who knows that there were two explosions at that Erlin, Iowa gas station explosion. And I'm not the only person who knows that the official story, the official documentation concerning that gas station has no other, has no other um, the whole, sorry, I got distracted there. They know the official documentation and what was reported that day don't go together. And when it comes down to it, when I looked there, it's not even about me, because Dan and his brother-in-law would have died. It was only by the grace of God that they both got out of there and weren't killed in that whole situation, whether or not they killed anybody else. And it was all part of domestic terrorism. And why? Because it was the child traffickers that were trying to shut me up. And Neil Gross, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, knew that. He knows there were 2 explosions. He was interviewed. I was interviewed. Dan was interviewed. And it doesn't match the official documentation. Also, people in town know, obviously, someone is trying to fuck me up. Who else hung those fucking flyers with my picture calling me a pedophile with my address on it? You know? So when it comes down to it, thanks. I just did this bow tie today. I just made it this morning. It's back to being normal. It's back to being in the 60s, and so you'll be seeing me in bow ties a lot. I like to wear bow ties fall, winter, and spring. So why I say there's more gravitas to this situation now than when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, it was just my abuse, what I was going through. Now, these people are supporting people who are protecting child killers. Neil Gross, who everyone is all upset about because I'm going after the sheriff, and his deputies, who I've been told are the ones who were hanging the flyers in the square. You know? So I'm calling them out, so I'm the bad guy here. And yet, the shit's happening to me. But when people are defending Neil, they're okay with the fucking child killers. And I live in Trump world. Trump is all over it. These people are all Trump. And let me guarantee you, they don't give a fuck that he's a pedophile. They'll rationalize and deny and do whatever the fuck they need to do in their own minds. They don't give a fuck. Obviously. And so, but I'm not going to stop, because I went through this shit kind of when I was a kid, when I was living through severe abuse with fucked up individuals, and it didn't destroy me then. Why do you think as an adult it's going to destroy me now? And it doesn't. That's the reason why I really just don't care. And I'm not a lefty. I'm not left. I'm just calling it as it is. You know? This child trafficking ring needs to be exposed. So go click on the links that I have in the description and just go read the emails that I put today. The stuff that is new, I put that first, but the link right underneath it is actually the first. If you read those and then read the, but just go read the shit. That's what's going on and what I'm dealing with. And it's right out there in the open. Right out there in the open. I think that's the important part. That's the reason why God has me here. Because people can see, whether or not they choose to or not, and most of them won't. They'll talk shit. The person that told me about the whole situation, their whole thing was, these people are small. They've not experienced anything. And so they think that their opinions matter, and they know and they don't. And they just didn't feel like they could argue with that. And I completely understand. I completely understand. And I'm okay with it. I'm a big boy. I have stood alone, But that conversation was what got me to change the sign out front. I decided not to be such a prick. about the whole situation. And so I redid the sign out there. That's the profile. That's the picture in here. But I just think that we're at Providence. I think that shit is coming down. We just got hit with 2 simultaneous plasma blasts from yesterday, from the sun. Nevada had 2 earthquakes, and Nevada doesn't get earthquakes. And so shit is getting ready to shift and change. That's the reason why I'm not worried about any of this shit. I think that we're in judgment. And I think that what's happening in Harlan with me, especially when I say where the darkness is concerned, this micro level of people finding evil acceptable for whatever fucking reason, whatever justification, whatever denial, whatever the fuck they want to tell themselves, the end result is they find the evil acceptable. And I think the darkness is looking at this on a micro level and is going to take it to a macro level. That's the reason why, when it comes down to it, these Jeffrey Epstein files that everyone has been going on and on and on about, they're just a distraction. Because really, when it comes down to it, what the fuck, even if they released all of it now and you knew, what would any of you do? What do you think would happen? Even if they released everything, you know? Take it to its logical conclusion. And so I think that we're at the end. I think that heaven, God, whatever you want to talk about, the sun is fucking cooking us. Right now is cooking us. At a time that we have no magnetic field because the poles are in the process. Not only are the poles changing, but the North Pole is moving. So we have no magnetic field protecting us from all of the shit that the sun is doing to us, which is causing all of the volcanic activity that we're seeing. And it's only a matter of time before one of those supervolcanoes explodes for real. And it only will take one to make it an extinction level event. And I think that is coming. I think it is inevitable at this point. And the fact that the Earth is tilted 33 degrees and we live on plates that float on magma, when the shit changes, the plates are also going to shift. And it is, and it's just a logical conclusion. When you look at it, it's just elemental science. That's the reason why I'm not worried about these fucking child killers. And people who want to defend these fucking child killers, do what you feel you gotta do. You know? Do what you feel that you gotta do. No, I did not vote for Biden. Actually, I did vote for Biden because I didn't want a second term of Trump. However, I didn't vote this time before with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. I didn't vote at all. It was one election I didn't vote at all. I decided I didn't hate my fellow man enough to vote for either one. However, had I voted, I would have voted for Trump. Not because I liked him, but because he was an idiot. And Hillary Clinton was dangerous. And I thought she, knowing how everything works, would have locked us up sooner than not. You know? And so, but I voted for Biden because I did not want a second thing for Trump. For the same reason I voted for Harris, and I couldn't stand her because I didn't want to see what was going to happen. Because it's not just Trump. It's all the people behind Trump. That's the issue. It's all the people behind him. And they're objectives are not in our best favor. But we're at the end now. We're at the end. You know? As far as the child trafficking goes, we're at the end. They're about ready to be claimed. They're about ready to be fucking claimed. And there's not a fucking thing they can do about it. They can't beat the dark. And the dark is here to fucking claim them. And we're all gonna die. That is an inevitability for all of us. You know? Not one of us has gotten eternal life. Ever. It is a simple fact. We're all gonna die. Probably sooner than most of us are comfortable with. And I'm just saying that right now, we're at a point where things matter. And so if you don't have the right energy level in your soul that only comes from following the word and trying to love as much as you can, you're going to get claimed by the dark. And as far as In Town goes, for them actually holding it against me that I've been gay, which I have been, let me point out something. The reason why people in town, their attitudes and the shit that they're talking about doesn't fucking make a difference to me, I really could not give a fuck less what they think. They want to hold the fucking gay shit against me. Well, you want to know what? I was married for 20 years. I've been divorced for well over a decade. And I haven't dated or done anything with anyone since because of my faith. Because of my faith in God. I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with being gay, but the gay lifestyle is just abhorrent. The actual lifestyle that I had to deal with for 20 years in the marriage is deplorable. It's just not for me. And so I've been celibate because of my faith. And when it comes down to it, what motherfucker in town can even come close to saying that they've made a sacrifice like that because of their faith? One. You know? So I don't give a fuck about their judgments. I don't give a shit. What I see is a group of people who are more than willing to support a man who's protecting a group of fucking pedophiles who blew up a gas station in Erling, Iowa and knows it. Who's involved with a lot of shit and people know it. And they want to feel superior because they're all in a collective with the same brain thought, which is an oxymoron in and of itself. And so, you know, oh, dude, you don't live where I live. You don't live in small town Iowa. You know, you can't say that. You can't say that. However, I don't give a shit what they think. I don't. For me, this is all about exposing these fucking child killers, you know? And do I talk about, you know, do I talk to my family? Fuck no. My sister Cindy's kids, where Mark is running around telling everybody I fucking molested him. Which is a lie. Which is a lie, by the way. And when I went down when his mother died, he actually apologized to me in front of people for claiming that I had fucking molested him. He was just trying to save his dad at the time. Because I believed his dad and my sister's oldest daughter fucking murdered my sister Cindy. She was telling everybody that they were going to murder her when she ended up dead and they were the only two with her at the time. You know? And so that's that whole situation. So I don't talk to them? Or should I talk to my child-killing stepmother, who was one of my main abusers? Maybe I should talk to her. Or my sister Kathy, who spent 3 years telling everybody that our stepmother was dead, who actually, I believe, in the conversation, was working with this group when they came in and murdered my friend Owen, her ex-boyfriend of 20 fucking years. And why was she working with them? For the fucking pettiest of goddamn reasons. Because she's a vindictive bitch. And she was mad that Owen and I had become friends. And so she fucking worked with them. And the reason why I know is because it was her who told me that Daniel Dowd, who is Pootie Twang, who had posted all of those live YouTube videos of Harlan at the same time, told me he was in Joplin, Missouri. We had a conversation where she actually admitted that she had been in contact with them. Of course, she was just the victim and he contacted her. So I should go talk to her. And all of them, according to this group, this Andy Villa dude that's in the emails that I just posted, who was the one who was coordinating all of the stuff between Daniel Dowd and my sister and Geo Farnsworth, all the shit around Owen, was working with Neil Gross. That's the whole thing. I have fucking evidence of all of it. All you have to do is go click those two logs, those two things. I added all the shit, you know? So I'm supposed to go talk to her, and they're all in cahoots with this group. And this group is a bunch of fucking child traffickers who are trying to shut me the fuck down. And I'm not going to do it. And in town, do you know that I've had a conversation with someone in my neighborhood? And when I told them that this group came and fucking murdered my friend Owen, their reply was, well, can't you just get over it? Why can't you just let it go? Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not going to let it go. I'm not going to fucking let a bunch of fucking murderers and child traffickers go because it makes these motherfuckers around here uncomfortable, and they're not comfortable around the world that they fucking live. And yet they're supporting the motherfucking evil. By their own actions, they're supporting it. They're in denial about it. They don't accept it. They'll tell you every reason why it's okay, but still, they'll support the evil shit. And it's happening on a level I can't stress enough that the darkness is well aware of the fuck of what's going on. Well aware. Well aware. We're in judgment. We're in judgment. And be careful of the shit that comes out of your fucking mouths. And I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said before, you know? So when it comes down to it, I just don't care about people and their gossip around here, you know? I just don't care. And even if they had they only want the Jeffrey Epstein files so that it feeds their fucking entertainment level. They only gave a shit about it when they thought it was all about Hillary Clinton and John Podesta, which I'm sure Bill Clinton, all the shit is in there. However, now that Trump, even though he was best friends with fucking Jeffrey Epstein, and he's now covering all this shit up, now suddenly, no, not so much. Pedophiles are great. We're okay with it. Come on. But I don't know what else to say, except that we're in judgment. We're in judgment. And people can see it. And I think that the status quo is getting ready to shift here soon. Because it's only going to take one natural disaster to fuck everything up. Especially if that natural disaster is one of those super volcanoes. And they all seem to be having problems. Things are conspiring against mankind and our survival. The planet will survive, one way or the other. Mankind, I don't think so much. And I think it's about ready to happen anytime. Only because of everything that's going on with the sun and the planet and the volcanoes and the earthquakes and all of the bizarre shit, let alone Three Eye Atlas and whatever the fuck that is. You know? The sun is cooking us, and we have nothing that's preventing that heat and plasma from inundating the planet. There's nothing. And so it is an inevitability. And people don't have to agree with what I'm saying. Go ahead, disagree. I don't give a shit. Don't fill your hearts with love. I don't give a shit. Protect fucking pedophiles. I don't give a shit. Do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. But don't think that there will not be accountability. Don't for a moment tell yourself that there's not going to be any accountability, because you're deluding yourself. Because I can fucking assure you there will be accountability. And the reason why I can get through what I go through and not feel, still have some hair left and not have torn it all out, is that I know that the shit is waiting for them on the other side. You know? Waiting for them on the other side. That's the fun part about knowing my stepmother is alive. Is that the dark has consumed her. And I know she watches these, and all I want to assure her is all the shit that you did to me. Let me just give you an example of my stepmother and who they're defending, let alone being involved with the fucking child killer. You know? See, I hate the name, but I have to agree with what you just said. Even though I will say that as far as Madonna is concerned, I had to endure more Madonna than anybody should ever have to endure for 20 fucking years. I just despise Madonna. But I will say that there is one line from one of her songs that I have definitely is a mantra of mine. I will not let a stranger give me a social disease. And I've always really liked that line. I've really identified with it. But otherwise, we're at the end. We're in judgment. And who we are, we don't have time to actually... Because once the chaos really starts, and it's still, you know, there's chaos all over the world just because it hasn't come here. But it is coming to America here very soon. You know? And isn't it interesting, Trump, who they just idolize, just came out and actually admitted he's pretty sure he ain't getting into heaven. He's a low man on the totem pole. Isn't that exactly a quote from him? He's a low man on the totem pole. He ain't getting into heaven. Huh. Funny how when you are faced with your own mortality, your decisions suddenly become way more prevalent. The same shit happened to my dad. You know? Suddenly this fucking psychopath who thought that there was nothing that was going to stop him. He could do whatever the fuck he wanted. At the end. It's funny how when they're facing eternity, how their stories change. The same was true with my dad. But with Joanne, I'm glad that the dark is playing with her. It's playing with all of them. And we're at the end. So what's facing them is way worse than anything I could ever devise. The dark is going to be way worse than... And I helped build it. You know? And I owe that bitch a lot. Let me just give you one example of the stuff that I went through. One time, she made me get on my hands and knees and eat chocolate pudding out of a bowl like a dog while she beat me with a belt and left welts and bruises all over my back and all over my legs. And then when I went and had to change in high school, everybody saw. You know, that's just one fucking day. You know, I owe that bitch a lot. And let me assure you, mother, as you made me call you, on the other side, you'll get exactly what you want. You're the prize pig on the other side. Enjoy, bitch. Enjoy. Because your sins are waiting for you. And we know it's not just me. This child trafficking bullshit I have spent my entire life trying to expose. And I'm not going to stop now. Now that I think that we're at the fucking end, I'm never going to stop. Never. And again, with Isaac Cappy and all of the shit that's coming out with Isaac Cappy. You know, Chris McKenzie, whatever the fuck his name is, the email that he just sent me. He is in cahoots with Johnny Depp, who I believe is Lucian Greaves and Thomas Schoenberger. They spent a fucking year just sending me email after email after email after email after email after email. Just fucking going at me for fucking a year. Now they want to pretend, oh, that never happened, you know? But I know they're all connected. I had no clue. You know, El High Priest, what I know about El High Priest is that's not his real name, you know? And I didn't know how the fuck would I know his parents were Jewish, you know? But it's not about religion. It's not about political affiliation. It's not about gender. It's about the fact that you guys are involved with a fucking child trafficking operation, and it needs to come out into the light. And I'm going to do my best because I'm a fucking responsible, caring human being. And all you motherfuckers out there who actually want to defend all of this shit and protect it by denying it, by fucking trashing me, blah, 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 I would tell you to go fuck yourselves, but as far as I can see it, you already have. You know? And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. This shit is going to play out regardless. They can't beat heaven. And it's heaven it's heaven that's here. It's heaven that's behind all the judgment. It's everything we were told spiritually is all coming to pass. It's all coming to pass. And the physical shit that we were told that surrounded the spiritual shit is all happening. And you can deny it all you want. If that's what you need to sleep at night, even though I bet that most of you are not sleeping, go ahead. But feeding yourself bullshit is not going to make you healthy, and it sure as fuck ain't going to save you. And we're at the point where you better start thinking about your fucking souls, because the shit's coming down. You know? One of those things explodes, and it fucking makes everyone have to migrate and all of that. Most of us are going to fucking die because we're not going to know how. Especially in America. You know? When we can't just go to fucking Walmart and just go buy at our own discretion, which nobody can afford anyway right now. It ain't gonna go well. And it's imminent. It's imminent. It is imminent. That's the way it works. But as far as the people in town, you know, for those of you who support me, and I know that there are a few of you, don't feel like you have to defend me. Don't put yourself, because you don't want these mother dumbasses to focus on you. Just flat out. You don't want them to focus on you. And they will, you know, because they're bored and they have little lives and they don't have a fucking clue. And they think their opinions actually matter when they don't mean shit. And so if they want to defend the status quo and all the shit that's going on, and support a dude who's actually protecting a bunch of fucking child killers, more power to him. You know? More power to him. There's nothing you can do about it. Just don't put yourself at risk. And which is funny because I'm telling everybody to take a stand. But where I live, in this town, I wouldn't, you know? But me, fuck, I don't give a shit. I could give a fuck less. I could not give a fuck less, actually. Don't give a shit. They can think whatever the fuck they want. Obviously, there's people after me. Who's after me? The same fucking people who blew up that goddamn gas station. For the same fucking reasons they murdered Isaac Cappy. Because Isaac and I were working together to try and expose this child trafficking ring. Same fucking thing. It all goes down to child trafficking. That's how it all goes down to. It all boils down to child trafficking. And I'm not walking away. And we are called to call truth to power. That's how it works. We're supposed to call truth to power. And I ain't gonna fucking stand back and just let these fucking child killers do whatever the fuck it is they want to do because they feel entitled to it and there's a lot of money. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And the people who actually are demanding it or judging me for not doing it or blah, 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 I don't give a fuck. Go fuck yourselves. You know? If you're okay with it, okay, more power to you. More power to you. I'm not. And as far as I know, at least still right now, we live in fucking America. We're able to actually take a stand and say something. And so I'm taking a stand and I'm saying something. And I know those signs are unorthodox, and I know they're not popular. But what other choice did I have? Really? You know, I've gone down every single avenue. I've gone down every single avenue, and it got me nowhere. So at least people know that I'm saying something, I'm saying my side by those signs out front. Flat out. And as far as I'm concerned, fuck these child killers. And fuck people who will actually support these child killers. And I don't care. You know? And am I going to walk away from this group when they murder my friends and laugh about it in my face? There's no fucking way. And I'm sorry that these weak-ass, weak-willed motherfuckers think that everybody should be as fucking lame and as pathetic as they are. Fuck, not only will they not take a stand, they'll join the motherfucking bad guys, especially if they think it'll put a dime in their pocket. That's how it fucking works. That's how it works. And so I'm just calling it as it is, and I'm just pointing out I could not give a shit less. I'm going to continue to fucking call this group out. Flat out. I'm going to call them out. And since Neil Gross, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, and his whole department wants to help these fucking child killers, I'm going to call them out too. Neil lied about that goddamn gas station, and he was not the only one. And it's an easy fucking thing to prove. And anybody who wants to look the other way, go ahead. Oh, I don't underestimate these average stupidity. It's not stupidity for the most, well, it is stupidity in a lot of aspects, but a lot of it is apathy, you know? And so that's all I'm saying. You want to fucking support this, and again, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, his deputies were the ones fucking hanging those signs all over town with my name and my picture, calling me a fucking pedophile and sending people to my house. But that phone number wasn't right. So I wonder who's fielding those phone calls, because that phone number's not mine. But they were hoping that someone would show up at my house and shoot me in the face. And I'm not a fucking pedophile. And who's fucking spreading it? A bunch of pedophiles and people who are protecting these goddamn child killers. That's how it fucking works. Neil Gross protected these fucking child killers when that gas station went off. He had spent 3 years before that protecting these fucking child killers, and I didn't know it. Because I was fighting with Doug Mesner when I got to Iowa, just like I was out in Washington State. Nothing had changed. He was waiting for me with emails the next day. And then was just, you know? And they were paying fucking people just like they are now. Shit, there are a lot of people who would fucking sell their mother for a goddamn $5 bill, let alone me. You know? It's not hard. They break into my house. They threaten my dogs because they know that they have access to my house. They come in whenever the fuck they want. You know? They threaten me constantly. The people that support me in town all say the same thing. We don't know how they send you the shit and do the shit that they do, and that's legal. It isn't. And the reason why they're doing it is to shut me up about their fucking child trafficking operation. And for those of you who want me to shut up about this child trafficking operation, just because you're fucking okay with the fucking child trafficking operation, that you just don't want anyone to talk about it, you want to be comfortable, and you're comfortable with the child trafficking operation, all I have to say is enjoy the fucking dark. Because that's right where you're fucking headed. Right where you're fucking headed. That's how it works. You know? They talk about framing me all the time. All the time. They laugh about it all the time. They send me fucking emails. It's constant, nonstop, and you just have to go check on those blogs, those links, to read just the last 24 hours. And then after that, the next 24 hours. And after that, it is nonstop. And it's all about them trying to protect their child trafficking operation. And those that they've gotten to actually support them protecting fucking pedophiles and their child trafficking operation. And who, let me, before I end this, give, and then I'm going to pray, and then I'm going to end this. Starts with Michael Aquino, Colonel Michael Aquino, founder of Temple of Set. He's the one who actually started this whole thing a long time ago. His associates now, as I've experienced them with my own personal interaction with all these dumbasses, I believe Gabe Hoffman is right underneath Michael Aquino. I believe Thomas Schoenberger is under Gabe Hoffman. Under Thomas Schoenberger, he's connected to Sewertown and Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, who is using his Satanic Temple after-school daycare to target the fucking kids. Lucian Greaves has a long-ass history of shutting people down, victims of child abuse and child trafficking. Sewertown is a group that's online. Phoenix Enigma was involved with Isaac Cappy, who was trying to expose this child trafficking ring. His wife, the Sicilian witch, I don't know her name, but she supposedly was the last person who spoke to Isaac Cappy before Isaac Cappy ended up dead. She's married to Corey Daniel. Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth, the ones who came in town, bragged about murdering Owen. Andy Villa, who, if you go read those emails, I believe is Lucian Greaves. He was coordinating the whole thing when they murdered my friend Owen, and that's just one episode. Corey Daniel and Daniel Dowd supposedly now, even though the story has changed, now want to be heralded as heroes because they were on the bridge trying to prevent Isaac Cappy from jumping off. Then Jesse Davis runs Sewertown. DeFango I've had to deal with. Tara Joyce. Not my rabbit hole on YouTube. Tara Joyce. Oh my God. She's just obsessed with me, but she has me blocked. So I have to go on to these other accounts to actually go look. And I don't, because I don't care. I could give a fuck less. I could not give a fuck less what any of these people have to say. I don't. But they're all involved with all this shit. I call them the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. They're all involved with Isaac Cappy and dead Isaac Cappy. What needs to be investigated is Isaac Cappy and who was involved with Isaac Cappy before he ended up dead. And especially who was connected to that Famalam program before and who's connected to it now. That's the issue with Sewertown that needs to be looked at. You know, there's a lot more involved with this group, but that's basically where I would start, you know? Let alone investigate me and all the people that are around me. Sherilyn, who was my moderator, who supposedly was my friend, was completely connected to this Famalam group. Now, you know, completely connected. My stepmother and my sister Kathy and all of my sister's kids are all involved with Doug Messner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. And God only knows who else. They're probably in connection, cahoots with Daniel Dowd as well. And again, I would never have known that Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth murdered Owen, but they, along with the Andy Villa account, went out of their way to brag about it. And I know my sister was involved because she knew that Daniel Dowd was in Joplin, Missouri. I know she was involved, and I know why. I know why she helped them. Other than the fact that she was helping our stepmother for 3 fucking years, who's not dead. Who was just as involved with this fucking killing kids. The Ricky Chaddick case, my stepmother was alive. She was part of it, along with my stepdad. There was the two of them. She's still fucking alive. But child killers and fucking pedophiles now, I guess, are acceptable. They're okay. You know? I guess God likes pedophiles and child killers and those who like pedophiles and child killers. You know? Really? When did this shift happen? Because what I know is that heaven is about ready to deal with this motherfucking group in the harshest motherfucking way possible. And it couldn't happen to a nicer group. You know? And so, anyway, I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray, and then I'm done for today. And I'll be back in on Tuesday. Go check on those links. Anybody who appreciates the stuff that I do, I'm on disability, unfortunately, with complex PTSD. Have been my whole life. And I make less than $1,000. A little over $900 a month. That's what I make. A little over $900 a month. Not even $1,000. And so donations. Some of you guys have helped. Fuck, someone just helped. And I was able to go get dog food. And I cannot tell you. Thank you so much. You know, thank you. God always seems to provide. Never in abundance, but always enough. And so, but with that said, I want to pray. Heaven, I come to you this morning as a group. I know that there are people in here. We come to you as a group, and we just want to express to you how grateful we are that you are in our lives, that you give us life, that you bless us with grace, even though our egos and our pride get us into issues and problems. We live in harsh and bad days, and just I ask that you give all of us the ability for discernment so that we're all able to choose our battles wisely, and fill us with grace so that we're able to enact your will and not our own, which means violence and hate and derision is not what our focus should be ever, but quite the opposite. You know, love. And even though it doesn't feel and seem like I'm very loving, and have to be honest, I'm not, where these child killers are concerned, I'm here to do a job, and I serve the word, as we all do. Just help each one of us serve the word in our own lives. You sent your son, our brother Jesus Christ, down to teach us the word and to live a life that we are to best emulate. And so we're grateful for that. And we say these things. Just help us try to make the world a better place as best as we can every day. And we say these things with love and gratitude in our heart. And in your Son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay. That's my live for today. If you like my bow tie, I just made this. I'm digging through fabric that I have, and it was just an old piece of fabric. But I had enough to make a bow tie out of it. I'm making bow ties. I'm trying to do what I can. And stressed. You know? Thank you. All of you guys go out and have a blessed day. For those of you who are in the United States, have a safe Labor Day. These drinking holidays, especially with as freaked out as people seem to be, I'm staying home. Of course, I'm broke. It's the end of the month, you know? But I was able to, I can't complain. I was grateful that someone donated. Thank you. You know, I don't have to worry about my dogs. They come first. They come first. You know, these child killers are going down. And I don't suggest anybody go support people who support child killers, because it isn't going to go well for you in the end. And you can deny it all you want. You can say whatever you need, but you're only deluding yourself, and it's not going to take you where you think you want to go. It definitely is not going to take you any place you want to go. You don't want to end up in the dark. You don't, you know? And so I'm just a normal guy who is not a criminal, who's been trying to do the right thing for a long time now. It's the whole reason I wrote a book. Oh, I should probably like and subscribe. I always forget that. I'm thinking about Gov. He always tells me I forget that. This is the book that I wrote. I sell these for $30. My PayPal and my Venmo are just at Shurter. It's in the description. I published this in 2012. It's about the child trafficking. I got nominated for Book of the Year. If you're in the United States, they're $30. Tell me where I'm sending it and who I'm inscribing it to. Otherwise, you can buy them cheaper on Amazon, but I can't afford free shipping. And each one of these books, because I only buy 10 at a time, cost me $15 a piece. And so, you know, my blog, davidshurter.com. Buy me a coffee link is in there if you want to donate. Or say a prayer, you know? Or pay it forward and go out and be nice to someone and make someone else's day, you know? Open a door for someone. Smile at someone. Do something that actually makes you feel good about being a human being and not like a fucking shitty asshole. That's the whole key, you know? Because we all know when we're being dicks, when we're talking shit and doing shit that we probably shouldn't be doing. We all know when we do it. It's just that we've all come to the conclusion that we're not going to be held accountable for it. And that's a delusion. And it's not real. And let me assure you, you will be held accountable. We all will. You know? And love and compassion and humanity takes work. It's not just something that just happens, especially right now in these days, times, you know? Or are you wanting to go out? You wanting to go out. I'm being beckoned, as you can tell. So that's my thing for today. All right, hold on.